Here's a video from Historics Auction, which takes place today at Farnborough International Airport. It's May now, which seems almost bonkers, and there's lots to see. First up, this Aston V8 Coupe you've just seen, which is guided between £140,000 and £167,000, which sounds like a lot of money. However, having recently read the Octane Guide on these cars and where they're going in terms of price, it makes it a little bit more understandable. It's more desirable as a manual car. Okay, it's not a late advantage, but it's still one people will want. And also, that car, in a 3-year period between 2017 and 2020, I think, had £193,000 spent on it. That Bentley Turbo R you've just seen was recently featured in my ACA video, where it was a very low mileage car and sold for low mid-teens, I think. It's now up at a guide between 20 and 24 grand or somewhere around that. It's sold at ACA and now is here, so we'll see if it sells again and whether it makes the vendor any money. You've got this Project E-Type, which I think has been a project for about 30 years. Reported to have a blueprinted engine, but they're not quite sure. This XK120 Roadster, which has been seen at Guy Broad's, he's done some work on it. It's a good name to have against any old car, especially XKs. He's the guru for them. Lots of nice things to see in the auction in general. Lots of favourites for me, including that Aston V8 Coupe. There's an 80s Bentley Continental, which comes along later, which was at a previous auction for Historics and didn't sell. It's now back with a lower guide, and it's just absolutely fantastic. There is a supercharged Morris Minor, which was previously owned by even JD Classics, or Derek Hood rather. It had a £44,000 build cost, including a custom fabricated rear axle. The blueprinted engine is motorsport spec, which is just bonkers. Lots of things to see. I really like, there's a Rolls-Royce Phantom as well. They always take my eye. I'm not sure what I'd do with one. Probably run people to the airport, I suppose. But it's going to be a long auction. They're going to be here all day. It's starting any time now, or has started by the time I get to post this, and it'll be running until 5 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have to wait a few days for a proper sales figure, because there'll always be post-sale negotiations going on cars that didn't quite make reserve or didn't sell at all, and Historics will be doing their best to get those cars sold for the vendors. So if there is something you're interested in, it's always worth giving them a ring and saying, has it sold, and what will the owner take for it? You've got to negotiate hard, and you've got to be willing to walk away from these ones to get the best deal. But that's kind of the fun of the game as well, in buying cars and in selling them as well, I suppose. There's also a couple of Project Porsche 911 964s, which you'll see one of in a minute, the red Carrera 4. Both are quite tatty, to say the least, and I expect that the coupe will turn into some sort of resto mod, sadly, but we'll have to wait and see for that, or maybe we'll never see, to be honest. But I kind of hope that someone actually just restores it and looks after it, because 964s seem to be a dying breed. They're all resto mods of one kind or another. Couple of little Lotus Elans, which is always nice to see. You've also got modern cars like this AMG GT, and then this Porsche Boxster Spider, which I really quite like. The rear deck on them is just so much more elegant than the standard car. I wouldn't necessarily choose to have mine in silver, but I do like the red interior. There's a Project Panhard Lavassa over the back, which looks something like a tank, which really quite appealed to me. I'm not sure why. Yeah, just a good mixture of cars, as Historics normally have. You've got a wide range from pre-war cars right up to modern day cars that are nearly new, and most of them would qualify as desirable to the general public. There's a few that are kind of more specialist items, but generally most things will appeal to most people, which is nice. That's how you get the most bidders through the door. There's a few special items in the auction. There's also, at the front later on in the video, a Mercedes Pagoda SL with probably the most stunning paintwork I've seen in a while. It just absolutely glows, which is really lovely. There's also a pair of these Ferrari 612 Scagliettes, which is nice to see. You don't see them anymore. I would really like one. A friend who's had one said I really wouldn't like to own one, and the fortunate thing is it's probably unlikely to happen anyway, so I don't need to worry about it too much. Hopefully it's a good sale for Historics. It's sunny weather. It's a bank holiday weekend, so you never know who's going to turn up, but hopefully lots of people have viewed beforehand, and then they'll bid online, but you never know until sale day. If there's a chance to grab a bargain, I think a few people might, but we'll just have to wait and see for the sales. There's also, you might have just seen a glimpse of it, that Land Rover Defender with every kind of accessory you could want on it. I'm not sure how many people would actually use one, but there you are. There's a Bentley 3 litre coming up too, which I was quite taken with. Smart Brabus, maybe a little bit of a guilty pleasure in a roadster form, but the Lotus would be the better drive, I feel. Anyway, we'll have to see for the results. I'll try and post a video with the results when they come up, and then we'll go from there.